Howdy ho, neighborinos. Today is Friday, October 24th, 4:02 p.m. is the time. The temperature is a slightly cool and chilly 12 degrees Celsius here at the north end of downtown Toronto. I'm on Bloor Street West. Let me just make sure everything is coming through A-OK on the stream. Howdy ho. Seems to be the case. 360 Dogs here. Alicia Lewis, Simons Gordon, Daryl, Carolyn, Sal Smith, Toronto Walker, Zach McNally, Wildcats, Random Travels, AJ. Thank you so much for tuning in. So tonight's the first game of the World Series, and Bo Bichette is batting in the cleanup hole and playing second base, a move I low-key love. It'll be interesting to see how he fares at second base with all the lefty Dodgers bats, but I think that's the right move. He's not the best shortstop. He's going to end up signing a big contract to play second or possibly third long-term. No one's going to pay him to be a long-term shortstop solution. And Jimenez is playing an excellent short, and this prevents George Springer from being disrupted and having to go out and roam the outfield. So John Schneider, I love it. Jay's playing with house money here. Shadow Joker's here, Mark D, Brad Palmer, Jackson Lee, C. Mills, Bill Wilson. So I'm a little bit earlier today. What I want to do is this is going to be a shorter stream. I've got something to do, unfortunately, right after this. And then I want to get home, and if I can get home in time, I'm going to stream watching the game on the Johnny Stumbles channel. So head over to Johnny Stumbles, subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't, and I may have a live stream around 8 p.m. over on that channel. Hopefully just have a few beers, maybe order a pizza, hang out, watch the game together. I won't be able to show the game on YouTube, obviously, but maybe I'll wear the sunglasses and you can watch the reflection of the game off my shades. But I'm hoping to do that tomorrow night. I'm busy hanging out with people, watching the game that way. So yeah, and I've got something I need to do just before 5:30. So what I thought I would do is just kind of hang out, do a normal stream, but we'll head down towards the Dome and we'll see what's going on there. But huge thanks to everyone for tuning in. Medano's here, Marge is here, Marie Palmer, Rena says hi from Japan. I hope Mr. Otani plays well today. I hope he breaks a leg. Just kidding, but may Otani go 0 for 5 and cry himself to sleep tonight. Never wish physical ill will upon a player, but you know, he's only possibly the greatest to ever play the game. Good afternoon, Lee. So I don't really know which direction I'm going to head, but we're going to be going south down towards the stadium that people that know what they're talking about call the SkyDome. And if you're just a noob and don't know anything about the city or baseball, you call it by another very corporate name. Here's a look up at One Bloor West. Someone playing some steel drums over there. Maybe we'll head over to Yonge and we'll head down a little bit on Yonge. I don't really have a plan, any rhyme or reason to where we're going. Let me take these silly sunglasses off. And if you're curious, the game starts just after 8. I'm going to try to get my live stream up and running around 8 over on Stumbles, providing I can get home in time. Bucky Smith says, of course it's the SkyDome. Yeah, whenever I mention that, there's always some Poindexter in the chat or the comments who are like, that's not the name. Look at this butt face. It's not how you drive, pal. Haunting Live is here. Oh, it looks like there's a protest of sorts going on at Yonge and Bloor. Hazen says, have a great walk, thank you. Shadow Joker asking what the SkyDome is. Someone's got some tunes blasting on their bike. Some people wear earphones or headphones. Some people do that. Jenny K is here. Greetings, Jenny K. Toronto Walker says Nathan Phillips Square will be showing the game tonight. Yes. Maybe we'll head down that way. I mean, I know I started off the stream yesterday there, but there's an idea. We can head down to Nathan Phillips Square. Kazan says you wanted to pop by and show your support on your birthday. Good stuff. And thanks to everyone who sent super chats to go towards filling up the fridge with game beers yesterday. I hit the LCBO on the way home. I also hit the Chipotle. Doing a little protest action over here, but look at that. That is one Bloor West. Toronto Walker says also for game 3 and 4, they have a watch party inside the SkyDome for $15. That's neat. I personally prefer watching on a screen at home. Versus that sort of thing. I'll go to a sports bar once in a while. But for really big games, I'd much rather just be at home. The Aga Khan Museum is showing the game tonight and tomorrow night. Yeah, there's a lot of watch parties going on. Exciting times in the city. We haven't had a championship sports series since 2019. Sorry, Toronto FC and Argos. You don't really count. Also, yesterday, we got some very disturbing news out of the provincial government. They want to remove rent control. I guess they want to see how many homeless people can pack onto the streets of Toronto all at once. Brought to you by the same geniuses who removed a cap on resale ticket prices. Just another day, another fuck you to Doug Ford. Think of all the people that aren't going to be able to retire as planned. Or, you know, have a roof over their head. Also, large rental corporations can make even more money in a city with a housing crisis. Absolutely brilliant. We'll save that for another day, but fuck you, Doug Ford, and anyone who supports that piece of shit. As we go south down Yonge Street, we'll leave the politics out of it from here on, but man, what a downer. Of course they would try to do that. Jenny K says, you think Bichette is ready? I talked about that at the top of the stream. I don't know, but I think second base is the right place for him. If anyone can go cover second base, it's a shortstop. I think he's obviously not 100%, or he would be at shortstop. Shortstop generally needs to have a bit better range and a better arm. So he's obviously a little bit limited, but I'd rather a limited Bichette at second than putting George Springer out in right or left field and disrupting what he's doing at the DH. Jumbo TV says his donors told him to do that after the condo prices are dropping. Oh, it's all about screwing over the working class in this province. A massive transfer of money from low to high. Greetings, Howard Charco. Or he says, that's not good news, zero security for renters. Nope, and that would be just fine if we had a healthy sized population and housing supply. Many parts of the world get by just fine without rent control, but we have neither of those. It is very much needed. Empty Nest Garden says, you savage, go Jays go. Yeah, the Jays completely playing with house money. Pitching a guy, what, his 7th ever professional start in the big leagues. He will have played at every level in the minor leagues, all the way up to the major leagues, all this season, including starting Game 1 of the World Series. That's truly one of the most ridiculous things you'll ever hear. I think he's the second youngest pitcher to ever start Game 1 of a World Series before. Toronto Walker says today's the 33rd anniversary of the Blue Jays versus Atlanta. Yeah, back when there wasn't a wild card or a division series, things ended a little earlier. Go Pets. Empty Nest Garden says you'd watch a documentary about you, Savage. I imagine Netflix will lazily piece together a documentary on him at some point. Eugene says, who do you think will start Game 7 if necessary? I think you go Savage, Gosman, Bieber. Game 4 would be a Scherzer / Bassett game. You'd probably start Max. And then if he gets knocked out early, Bassett would clean that up. And then you go back to Savage, Gossman, and I think you go Biebs. I don't see how you don't go Bieber for a Game 7. I mean, we'll have to see how he does on Game 3. But a Game 7's an all-hands-on-deck situation, so you would have Savage in the bullpen and not Gosman probably, just because Savage will have an extra day rest. Who knows? That would be fun. If we get to a Game 7, it'll be fun to think about those possibilities. Kartik watched Moneyball last night. Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt. Oh, that's neat. Howard. I have a friend who's going to Game 2, and they're sitting right behind home plate. I think 3 rows back in one of those luxury seats. Lucky bastard, he's getting that one as a corporate hookup. They also have a box at the Dome. Sal Smith says, your wifey was in a box for Batista's hit. I think one thing I think is the crowd won't be quite as loud tonight, given the insane cost of tickets and how hard it is to get them. you generally end up with a more subdued crowd. You end up with less real baseball fans and people with more money than brains who don't really know what they're watching. We saw that happen with the Raptors. The further they made it through the playoffs, the quieter the crowd got. There's still going to be 44,000 or so noisy people. I just think the peak in terms of the crowd noise would have been Springer's home run. I don't think we're going to get it that loud again. I had to listen to some girl sitting behind me in game one. Every time a batter like swung at a ball and missed, she'd go, "Oh, why'd he swing? Why'd he swing? What an idiot." And it's like, take 2 seconds to understand what you're watching. You know, when a pitcher sets a batter up in the count, gets them behind and then throws a breaking ball down and off the plate, yeah, you're going to get them to swing and look foolish doing it. It doesn't make the batter an idiot. They're just trying to protect the plate. They got beat. It's part of the game. Alan Donato, welcome to Silver Tier. Alan, thank you so much for joining the ranks of Silver Tier. Cheers to you. Thank you so much for the support. Hey, Dirk G, Toronto's doo-wop music guy. And it was fun hanging out with the OG yesterday. There's a video on this channel of me walking around with him before I went live yesterday afternoon. I just recorded a video before this, and I need to do something right after this, so hopefully I'll get home in time for the game. BG says it's 5 a.m. in Tokyo and you're pumped? Did you already sleep? Or are you sleepless? I think all of Japan is going to be tuned in tonight. There was a poll in the States, and I think 80% of Americans are rooting for the Jays. Michael Holloway says the crowd noise was the reason we won the ALCS. Well, it may have rattled some of the Mariners' batters to finish off the last 2 innings of Game 7. Springer certainly ignited the whole stadium. Baby Grinch says, good afternoon. You just saw Ohtani eating his Wheaties. It's going to be a long night in Toronto this evening. Hey, man. If they can get a few runs up on Snell, and if we can get 5-6 innings out of you Savage and only give up a few runs, you can maybe get to that mysterious Dodgers bullpen. They're pretty lights out in the 9th inning, but what are they going to do 6, 7, and 8 with the starter out? We didn't see a whole lot of that these playoffs. That's really the Jays' best chance. Is just to keep driving up counts, get that pitch count nice and high, and chase the starters out of the game. I think they'll split the first 2 games probably. Who knows? I'm just predicting they do. Sandy S says your friends in Detroit are hoping for a Jays win. Ooh, talk about Heartbreak City. Detroit were looking like world beaters earlier on in the year, only to fall apart, get their shit together, just enough time to get booted out of the playoffs. Another roster move, Ty France and Bo Bichette are on the roster. Rodriguez is out. I think Loperfido is out. Could have used him as a pinch runner. But they've still got Straw and Schneider and Lucas to roam the outfield, so they should be okay. All right, this is Grenville as we go southbound Yonge. Oh, flashing lights up ahead. Looks like an ambulance. We'll see what that's all about. If we do win tonight, do you think there'll be people dancing in the middle of Yonge Square? I don't know. It's a game one. I think there'll be a jubilant bunch of people out, but I don't think it's going to be anything at all like what we saw after game 7. Hey, Flick Hunter. Yep, Bo is at cleanup and on second. And there are beverages in the fridge, thanks to you. I like it. They also had Bo trying out his hand at first base. But if you do that, you got to put Vladdy on third. The biggest concern with someone who doesn't play second playing second is really if LA drops a bunt to the right side, that pulls in the pitcher and the first baseman, and the second baseman just kind of has to instinctually run over and cover first. And they might test Bo to see if they'll catch him off guard. That's just something you do without thinking if you play second normally, but since Bo's a transplant, that might be one thing to look out for. But at the same time, LA isn't really a small ball bunt and move them over team, so I don't think it's a huge concern. Jenny K says Vladdy is so good on first. He has gotten so much better on first. Yeah, you don't move him. And you don't fuck with Springer at DH. A lot of people saying he can play outfield. I don't know. He is thriving in the DH role. As we go south down the west side of Yonge Street, College Park on the right. I started a live stream from there, I think on Wednesday. This is the third live stream in 4 days, or in 3 days. And I might be going live tonight just before 8 on the Stumbles channel to watch the game together. This stream probably only has an hour left or so in it. I do have to do something right after this. I'd also like to get home in time to set that stream up. Everything's kind of set up and configured for this stream right now. Daryl Chin is here. Greetings, Daryl, as we look into College Park. Flick Hunter says also having your back to the runner on a double play turn can be awkward. That's another fair point. Bichette always throws across the body, and he'll have to pivot on those throws to first, something that is ingrained into your muscle memory if you're a second baseman, but won't be so natural to him. But it's still not a super difficult throw. It's all good, Jenny K. Man, how nice would it be to see the Elephant and Castle move back into that spot? That was such a great bar and a great location. Whoop, here comes an ambulance. Let's not cross. Maybe a Hamilton airport tour. If I ever fly out of Hamilton, I'm not going to go out of my way to fly out of there if it's not the most convenient flight. I know we're not on good terms in terms of international travel down south, but the USA pre-clearance is starting pretty soon at Billy Bishop. So there'll be a whole lot more flight routes and possibilities from there. Just in time for when almost nobody wants to travel south. And that says you have a few Elephant and Castles in downtown Chicago. They're a bar restaurant. Yeah, we have one left in Toronto at Simcoe and King. I was there before game 1. Carlito's Way says if the Jays win tonight, you'll celebrate at Zanzibar. That's as good a place as any. This Kanji Queen used to be a Swiss chalet in that spot. There's the Zanzibar. Hey, Yogi's here. I make the best tours of airports. I literally just show the experience from the front door to the gates. Sal Smith is just hoping they make it home for game 6. Well, they better win one of the first two. I'll be fine with it not coming back to Toronto if they win it all in 4 or 5. Nothing to complain about there. There's a viewer, Credence, I think, who has managed tickets to Game 6 and booked a hotel room. I think he's coming in from Saskatchewan. One Plant Cannabis. Michael says sweep in 4. Hey, there's a stat floating out there. Oh, I think these guys are Dodgers fans. team that sweeps the DS or CS series, when they play a team that won in 7, the team that wins in 7 always wins the World Series. Can I just ask, are you from LA?
What's that?
Are you from LA?
I sure am.
Oh, awesome. Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you. Good luck to you as well, man.
Are you going to the game? Can I ask how you got tickets? Because they are not easy to get. You don't have to, dude.
Truthfully?
Yeah.
We work for the Dodgers.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry to be so anticlimactic.
I know.
Well, they're like $2,000 a pop. Like,
right.
Like I went to the Mariners series, but like, you know,
Just to get in the building.
Yeah, I'd like to retire someday, right? Like as much as I want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck. Cheers. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Oh, they were super friendly. He hesitated to tell me how he got tickets, so then the answer was they work for the Dodgers. Well, they're all wearing Dodgers swag. That's one way to get yourself into the game. Yeah, I'm not going to be a dick and hope they lose. Doesn't matter if you're a fan or a player, good sportsmanship is just that. All right, I'm going to have to mute it for a second because of the music, but we've got the State Puff Marshmallow Man here. That's awesome. Those guys did a fake arrest. Sorry guys, just due to the music, I can't leave the audio on while we're here. Someone heard K-pop Demon Hunters. Let me just get out of this area as quickly as possible. Always something going on at Dundas Square. All right, I think I'm sufficiently out of the fire. There's the Eaton Center across the street. Some Jays related media at the square. What time did the gates open? I think around 5. There's going to be some people getting in there, catching BP. If those guys work there, I'm surprised They're not there already. That's probably where they're heading.
Or they're not, it's not as like.
Well, that's where I'm heading. Dear God, Bo is batting cleat up and played second base. Hey man, IKF has been pretty good, but I'll take Bo at 60% over IKF at 100%. I mean, they can always reevaluate if it's a total disaster in game one.
Oh my
But I like the move. How far am I from the SkyDome, you mean, Ryan's model shop? About 20 minutes if I power walked it. Cool. We're gonna go check out where the watch party is gonna be taking place. Happy Friday evening, Helena. What do I think about Schneider starting to Savage tonight? I think it's good. Game 2 is arguably more important than Game 1. If you lose Game 1, the weight of the world falls on your shoulders for Game 2. And I think Savage is just the kind of dude who his heart beats slower. You know, he doesn't really seem to feel it. So yes, let's put him in game 1. Give the Dodgers a look they've never seen before. I'm all for it. Plus, Gausman traditionally does better on extra rest. Who's starting game 3? Bieber? Yeah, I think there's no other option. That has to be Bieber. And game 4 would be a Scherzer-Bassett combo, you would think. I think Max kind of earned the start. But look at that car, Springer. Huh. That is sick. Sneaker. Good taste in cars and paint jobs for said car. Well, Savage has to start game 1 or game 2. It's both, they're both like insane spots to put him in, so I'm behind this move. I also think they're doing the right thing with Bichette. Is that actually Springer? There is no chance Springer is driving north up Bay Street in a car with his own name painted on it, instead of being at the Dome right now. So no, that's not Springer. There's no chance that was. Jenny Case says they can't go to the White House, it's under construction. Oh yeah, they're building that ballroom that every president ever has wanted them to have and didn't think of until now. Nobody does ballrooms like giant demented orange orangutans. Yeah, we're literally in for a matchup of the best starting rotation in baseball versus the lowest strikeout rate team in baseball. It's crazy. Savage's debut did not go so well in the first inning. I think it was versus the Royals. He was getting roughed up. And then he settled down. And thank goodness he was given that opportunity to settle down. So he started throwing absolute fire. All right, let's cross in a second. What I think would be absolutely incredible is if the Jays put up a crooked number, knock Snell out of the game early, rough up their pen, and do what they did to the Yankees in Game 1. It's not like the Jays have played bad pitching. The Yankees had some very good starters. They had a Savage of their own and Schlittler. All we heard about before the series was how good the Mariners starters were. But by the time the best in the rotation rolled around by games 3 and 4, the Jays' bats woke up. Shame for them, Brian Wu wasn't ready, but we didn't have Bichette either. Squarebet says Jays have to get the Dodgers starters out of the game. Yeah, a combination of that, and they need to keep the bats quiet, or hope they have a bit of a cold streak. But we'll see. But I bet there's already people staking spots out for the watch party tonight, which is going on just over to the right here. We'll take a peek. It's Nathan Phillips Square in City Hall, just on the right. I'm gonna keep going south until I get to the SkyDome. Walk Ohtani with first base open. Make Betzer Freeman beat you. That's a choice. I think with first base open, you pitch to Ohtani. You try to get him to whiff. He's been pretty cold these playoffs, other than having the single greatest game anyone has ever had. If he burns you in the first, then yeah, probably adopt that strategy, but I would pitch to him. Toronto Blue Jays World Series watch party. You may be photographed, videotaped, or recorded. I don't know. That screen is tiny. This is like the equivalent of watching on like a 12-inch TV from your couch. Skywalker says, why isn't the screen bigger? I think it's a matter of that's all they got, but yeah. I mean, outdoor screens are not cheap. They kind of have to be weatherproof and very resilient to different temperatures. Hey, there's... I hope her hubby isn't a Blue Jay fan. They might be at each other's throats on the first night of their marriage. Hey man, to each their own. I hope it's fun for the people that come here. Yeah, that screen is way too small to be enjoyed in my opinion. I sit about 4.5, 5 feet from a 65-inch OLED, and where I'm going tomorrow, I'll be sitting nice and close to my friend's 77-inch, watching things the way they're meant. And Low Retrospective says this screen proves it's more about the communal experience. For some, I want to be hyper-focused on every at bat and detail of the game. It's one thing if you're there, but if I'm watching on a screen, this is where one of the many watch parties are. Squarebet says Otani was like 1 for 25 before he hit those 3 jacks. This is where I was yesterday with the OG Orient Gent. We wrapped up the video that was on the channel this morning. Good evening, Chowdhury. There was the groom. You think that was the groom and not just someone who was part of the wedding? Carleo's Waste is watching at a bar watch party. Radio baseball around a fire. That security guard just asked that security guard, how the hell do you get up there? As the sound of choppers buzz overhead. We'll be watching from Carmen del Playa, Mexico. They're on vacation? My first ever all-inclusive Caribbean trip was to Carmen del Playa. And I haven't actually been back. I've been to Cancun several times since then. Any blimp sightings? Remember the Goodyear blimp? I know what song they're playing. Mark Foley will be watching from Scotland. Jenny K says, is the Goodyear blimp still a thing? I don't know. All right, let's get ahead of this herd of kids. I crossed the street to like get out of their path. Let's go to the other side of the street here. Hey, we got 574 viewers. Thank you so much, guys. Friendly reminder to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that fun stuff. I'm going to attempt to go live right after this. Well, I got to do something after this, but by 8 p.m. on the Johnny Stumbles channel tonight, I'll have the game on the big screen and the computer monitor. As I go south down York Street into the financial district. Honk honk. Music is here. Guessing they're walking to Union? Live from home, then frontage shot after? No. If they win tonight, there will be no running downtown and making videos. How can you walk with this much gout? I don't think you have it all going for you upstairs. Sorry to diagnose you with stupidity. Sometimes I can do that. Sepand TTC Explorers here. Welcome to Silver Tier. Thank you for joining the ranks of Silver Tier Sepand. Good to see you. Thank you very much. As we approach Adelaide Street. There's some classic Toronto driving over there. People stuck in the intersection. Watch the game at the Pint so I could record after. I don't think game one will be a huge party on the street. If they win, it'll be a little bit rowdy, but that's it. Hey, Lorraine McLean is here. Greetings. So we started up at Italy. We're in front of it. I made a little pit stop there after recording. Joe Carter's doing the ceremonial pitch for game 2. Yeah, and Cito Gaston. Props to Cito and props to the Blue Jays for hiring that man for a second tour. He replaced Jimmy Williams and led the team to greatness in the early 90s. I think he was also the first black manager to ever win a World Series. It's really weird that no one gave him a shot after that first run. All right. Who says you have to ride the right way on the sidewalk? We are starting to get close to Jay's country near the SkyDome. Good afternoon from Guyana. We're almost at Front Street, then I'll hang a right and we'll head over to the SkyDome. Or possibly Bremner. Oh, we got the beers and hot dogs ready to go. Got the beers ready to go. I'll figure out food plans around game time.
I couldn't believe it.
There's some Dodger fans probably. It's crazy. Both teams' colors are blue. I think their blue is a little bit more of a royal blue, just slightly. Chris Mills is prepped and ready. The Harvey's Angus burger for food this evening and some cold beers. I don't know, I might end up doing delivery. We'll have to see how time works out. Craving Duff's wings with blue cheese. Good old Duff's. Buttered popcorn from Dollarama. I've got a lot of Redenbacher in the cupboard. JD needs to get a big bag of chips. You'll be ready? I'm more of like a Tostitos and salsa person. Greetings, Mohammed. And holy cow, 654 people. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Friendly reminder to like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. I'm going to attempt to go live tonight at 8 p.m. over on the Johnny Stumbles channel. Do a little watch along for the Blue Jays. Thank you, Medano. If you want to see a lot of the old players, there's an excellent video on YouTube when they were commemorating Jose Batista a few years ago. Guys like Ryan Goins, Adam Lind, Justin Smoke made an appearance. It was really cool to see. A lot of familiar faces from that 2015, 2016, and I guess before that, Batista was with the team for a while. But what I'd like to do is get home around 7 and have some food and throw on the pregame. It'll be all about soaking up all of that. I'll probably put on the US feed and watch that before the game. And there's what I think is the best pregame spot, Kelly's Landing in the area. Jenny K saw a video with Gruber and Henke and you almost cried. The Terminator. Kelly Gruber was one of my favorite growing up. But props if you remember Rance Mullenix, who would also play a little third base. This is Front Street, one of 3 ways to get from Union Station to the SkyDome. You could take Front, you could take the Skywalk if you want to do it inside most of the way, or you could take Raptors Way in Bremner from the south end of Union. I usually get off at St. Andrew and then just head down John Street. But I guess that's the beauty of having such a well-located stadium. There's some big pre-drinking spots, or pre-game spots. That Jack Astor's over there. It's always packed before a game. The Loose Moose. There's a lineup to get in there. Yeah.
My fam is a big fan of yours.
Are you going to the game?
All the time. No.
No?
I'm going to watch it at home.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
see ya.
have a good night. Cheers. Friendly viewer. JD says Kirk is another favorite because you're a catcher. Well, he must have been a fan of Ernie Witt and Pat Borders, Russell Martin, Charlie O'Brien. He was the guy who brought the hockey goalie mask over to catching. Carl says the Loose Moose is excellent for food. There's Simcoe Place. Chris Mill says the Jays are good for business downtown. Yeah, what a lot of teams are trying to do is create their own ballpark areas, like what Atlanta did. So you build a stadium that's kind of isolated, and then you build a bunch of like restaurants and bars and places around the stadium that you own the buildings and lease out to businesses. That's one of the big trends in sports stadiums, creating like a little village or town. And I think it's kind of a horseshit way to do things. You go to like Fenway Park, it's right there in the city, or the SkyDome, rather than some Disney World type experience. The Cleveland Browns are doing that with their new stadium out in the middle of nowhere. And I think the Chicago Bears are trying to do that. Rob Law says, Fred McGriff, the crime dog, who along with Tony Fernandez was traded for Alomar and Carter. That was a trade that disrupted the fault lines in baseball. Lloyd Mosby, Alfredo Griffin. Well, Mosby, Bell, Barfield, at the time, the best outfield in baseball. I saw them play a number of games at the old Mistake by the Lake. Cleveland lost a lot of really good players, but Toronto benefited from that. Hey man, I think a lot of Indians or Guardians fans are following a lot of their former players closely. Miles Straw was one of them too, wasn't he? There's the Glenn Gould studio at the CBC. Carlos Delgado. We're just naming legendary Jays. Most underrated Blue Jay of all time, I think, is John Olerud. Without that guy, we would have no World Series wins in 92 and 93. You could say that about a lot of guys, but he's the one that seems to get the least amount of credit. She's got a honk if you love BJ's sign. I think some people might honk to that even if there is no baseball going on. There's the Pint Public House. I'm gonna go up the other way just because they're blasting music there. Olerud will be here tonight, allegedly. All right, Jenny Kay, enjoy dinner. Sean Green was another one that attracted a lot of new fans. Remember Jose Cruz Jr.? When you think about those old Jays teams, so many names just pop into your head. I mentioned I got a Troy Gloss fallow ball in my live stream yesterday. Do you remember Troy Gloss? He was basically a giant. Straw spent much of last year in AAA for the Indians. There we go. On the left, the CN Tower. On the right, the SkyDome. I think the score of tonight's game will be? Let's say 6-3. I'm not saying for who. That girl has a sign that says, "I quit my job to be here." Is that real?
Sorry?
You quit your job?
Oh, fucking yeah!
What did you do?
I worked in Fairmont and Banff Springs.
Awesome. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
TV crew. How's Toronto these days? Still safe and fun? Indeed. As safe and as fun as ever. Unfortunately, we're gonna hit a lot of music coming up here. Hey, Tavain Palmer. Thank you, Tavain Palmer. Cheers to you. Let's go, Jays. Thank you for the super chat.
We got your boy Brian on the ones and twos, bringing that 12-season energy back to the door.
Hey, there's one of the guys we saw earlier with the Dodgers gear on. Walk around the stadium a little bit more. Look at that dude. Don't get to wear that face paint and not draw attention to yourself. One sec, guys. That'll do. Sorry about that. EG says the folks you've met in Japan have been Dodgers fans. Quite a lineup for the Jays shop. We all quit our jobs to watch Johnny Strides? I don't think so. There's a lie if I've ever heard it. There goes a GO train. This is the Marriott Hotel coming up. Am I going to game one? I wish. I went to game one of the Mariners series. I tried my best to get tickets for this one, but it just didn't make any financial sense to get resale tickets. How about I stream the game? I'd rather not lose my YouTube channel. Although I saw a dude stream a Yankees Red Sox playoff game. Filming notice.
Okay, we'll keep checking.
So this is the north end of the stadium. Don't go bankrupt rooting for the Jays or any sports team. It's absolutely criminal what's happened with resale ticket prices in this province. It was funny watching Doug Ford talk about how he was going to watch in his man cave because he wasn't going to pay the resale prices. Then an AM 640 reporter asked him, well, why did you remove the law that limited resale ticket prices in the first place? He did his best to not answer that question, but yeah, this is 100% old Dougie's fault why tickets are so expensive. There was literally legislation in place that you couldn't resell a ticket for more than 50% of its face value. And one of the first things that piece of shit did when he was elected was eliminate that law. So Knowles Nature member for 5 months. Thank you so much for 5 months of membership. I gotta mute it for a sec. Yeah, with that music, we're not gonna head that way. I'm gonna go south down Blue Jays Way here. We'll pass by some more fans. So apparently you can get a general admission ticket, which is standing room only, for $623 right now. The problem is you would already want to be in the stadium claiming that spot. Or you can get a single seat in the 500s for $12.30. As big of a fan as I am not at all tempted to pay $1,230. to sit by my lonesome in the 500 level. Oh.
So now it's your Phillips. Yes. Yeah, that was like a
CTV doing a report right there. Oh, you can see their teleprompter and everything. Well, this is Blue Jays Way. Chris Mills says your man cave is much more comfortable.
Very soft, but I'm there to
Oh, we got the World Series in less than 3 hours from now. A ambulance rolling through. Look at all these tour buses. We'll just make our way back over to John. Leafs versus Sabres at 7. And the Raptors are playing tonight at Scotiabank Arena, right? Kind of a crazy, crazy night. $9K for one of those hotel suites. Yeah, I've seen a game from there, and it's a neat novelty, but they are also one of the worst seats in the house. I guess you can put the TV on. Hopefully it's not too delayed.
Let's get it off.
They should have the roof open. Doug Ford is absent from the Ontario Legislative Assembly. Christmas might pay $1K for Stanley Cup Finals tickets. Oh, they're going to be way, way more than that. Scotiabank Arena holds less than half the people that SkyDome holds. And the Leafs in the Stanley Cup, that would be the one sports ticket hotter than this one. I'd rather go see a Jay playoff game, but I mean, it's not like the Leafs haven't been there since 1967 or anything. But we're back to front. And as sad as I am to say it, I'm gonna have to bring this stream to an end. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank those who sent support, mods, Patreon supporters, channel members, and everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that fun stuff. If I can get home in time, I'll try to do a live stream on the Johnny Stumbles channel, like a watch-along live stream. So if you want to hang out and watch the game together while I have a few beers and react to what's going on, head over to Johnny Stumbles. Maybe a mod can link that in the chat and hit the bell there. I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow. I have plans to watch the game with some friends. So wasn't really prepared for covering the World Series. Don't really think that's going to happen, but hey, here we are. So I'm going to try to do my best to enjoy the game as a fan, but I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Go Jays, go. Hit that like button on your way out. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think the score of tonight's game will be. So head down in that little comment box and let's see who can get the score right. If you get the score right, I will give you a special shout out in a future video. Hopefully somebody gets it. But thank you so much. Go Jays, go. And hopefully I'll see some of you at 8 p.m. at Stumbles. But I gotta do something now and then, yeah, go Jays. Yoink.
Time my way of life's been redefined, that's all for now. What do you want? What do you want from me? What do you want? What do you want from me? I'm not a very good liar. So I just set my goals higher. Do I have to state it one more time? I tell you I am doing fine, that's all for now.